Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Because so much was going on during Comic-Con, I'm going to combine my Teen Wolf episode 6 and 7 videos right now. So this is mostly going to focus on episode 7, but I will mention some of the big takeaways and like the big major WTF things that we need to talk about from episode 6 first. I'm also going to announce who the winner is of the Comic-Con giveaway at the end of this video too. But if you're just finding me for the first time, I do Teen Wolf videos every week. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. I know we're all really excited. We're going to get like a full 20 plus episode season 5. So let's get going. Careful for spoilers from episodes 6 and 7 if you haven't seen them yet. I'll wait just a sec. Okay, here we go. So biggest WTF stuff from episode 6. Peter and Kate are going to be working together. This is not good for anyone. Kate controls the Berserkers, but it seems like neither she or Peter is connected to the Benefactor in a conscious way. Previously, I thought that Peter was a good candidate as a way to get his alpha powers back, but now it seems like he's just one of the other victims, one of the random victims, and is making lemonade with all the lemons trying to kill him. So then there's Meredith flipping her shit and killing herself. That's probably just the show's way of getting rid of that character. They were trying to get the last cipher key, but before she killed herself, Meredith said, "He doesn't want me to tell you," and I think this is a really big deal, meaning she has been in communication with someone, whoever he is, and notice that she said he, so it's not a woman. The Benefactor is a man. The whole message in a mixed tape thing feels very weird. It feels like a big affectation, like it's gonna figure somehow into his character. That whole thing with the record player, you know, a big analog music source that kind of figures into that. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on. It's like a very 70s, 80s vibe. And then there's Derek being the last cipher key. It's almost like the Grim Reaper is just gonna like hang out on his shoulder for the rest of the season. Like we're just waiting for him to die. But anyway, moving on to episode 7. I'm gonna do this like I normally do, just top 5 moments, and then I'll do my review. So here we go, number 5, Satomi is not dead. I totally loved her introduction. It was straight out of a kung fu fight movie, slow motion martial arts fight in heavy rain. It actually reminded me of this really awesome movie called The Grand Master. It's about Ip Man. He was a real life person who was one of the greatest martial artists who ever lived. He actually ended up training Bruce Lee. The whole opening scene of that movie is an epic battle in the rain. So it's on Netflix and you guys should all watch it immediately after you're done with this video. It feels like Satomi is just becoming a bigger part of the story this season. Like she's gonna help Derek and everyone else fight the Benefactor. I could definitely see her sacrificing herself for Scott's pack. Her own pack is all dead, so unless she creates a new beta or starts working with Derek in some way, there's not a lot left for her to do on the show. So start saying your prayers for Satomi, because she could be dead by the finale. Number 4, big WTF, Coach used to be a drunk. I'm also using this to talk about the back knee reveal, you know, with the virus. That's what I thought whenever she pulled his shirt up. If you were confused about how the virus worked, it would put everyone down for a little while, but non-wear creatures would just automatically get better after a short period of time. So that's why Coach just shot up randomly and said, "What the hell's going on?" Lydia's mom was so cool during all this too. Most of the time when we see her, she's being completely ridiculous, but we find out that when things start to slide downhill, she really cares about everyone, especially Coach. And who knew that he used to be a crazy drunk 15 years ago? I'm wondering if that has something to do with him not becoming a professional athlete. Alcohol and substance abuse are big problems for celebrities and athletes that get their careers torpedoed. Remember, Coach was actually a pretty big athlete, I guess, based on what we learned during season 3. I don't know if the show's ever explained explicitly why he stayed at the school. It might be because of an injury that he suffered. I always love it when they reveal big character details like that for minor characters. And how cute was it that whenever Lydia came in, her mother immediately pretended to be ridiculous again. I think she just did that to make Lydia feel more comfortable. Like Lydia's more comfortable thinking that her mom is ridiculous. And on to number 3, another big WTF, Styles wants to keep the money. He got pretty dark whenever they were talking about it. It almost made me think that he was in on the Deadpool list somehow. Just the language that he used and how passionate he got about not rushing to give the money over to Peter and Derek. I mean, even Scott had a WTF reaction when Styles was going crazy about the money. The Icon House debt, as well as Scott's mom going bankrupt, have been big ongoing plots this season. So there's 2 practical outcomes, I think. There's the hero option. Styles and Scott just suck it up, give the money over, and look for other overtime work to help pay off their family's debts. Heroes do not steal. Think of it as like, what would Captain America do? Scott is like the Captain America of the group, and Captain America does not steal money from other people, even if it's Hydra. Hail Hydra. The other morally ambiguous option is that they give money to Derek and just keep Peter's half and use that to pay off their debts. Because of the trust issues going on with Malia in the episode, I do not see Styles pushing as hard for this option. If he took the money and Peter found out, it would just be more ammo for him to drive a wedge between Malia and the pack. Peter is just going to start drawing more and more people around him as he gains more power. Obviously, he's going to try and coerce Malia at some point if she doesn't just immediately rush over to the loft for answers. On to number 2, creepy PSAT guy is infecting everyone with the virus. If you guys didn't recognize him, he was actually on an episode of The Office. He played Dwight's creepy friend. So whenever he showed up being creepy on this show, I just laughed a little bit. I feel like his best moment was actually the first time we saw him, whenever he was in that creepy basement infecting that werewolf. If you weren't sure what he was doing, he was testing the virus to see how long it took to kill a werewolf. That's why he left the guy on the hospital bed inside the ring of Mountain Ash. I thought the whole virus subplot was a good homage to Cabin Fever, or really any infection-based movie like 28 Days Later. I love how Teen Wolf can do genres within genres. It's already a show about werewolves, which is a huge genre, but whenever it does other genres, it just gives the story so many other places to go. It seems like a lot of these Deadpool mercenaries get one episode arcs, or really short ones. There's only a few episodes left, so I wonder if the mercenaries we run into next will progressively just get bigger and badder until we get to that final boss fight. It's like Scott's group is playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out on a classic Nintendo, and they just have to work their way through the boss stages so that they can fight Mike Tyson at the end. But my number one WTF moment, Malia learns the truth about Peter. I was pretty surprised by the way she found out. I'd actually expected her and Styles' relationship to not be a part of that, but we always knew at some point she was going to find out and flip. And when they did that whole hiding things moment with Kira, you pretty much knew it was coming. The big question now is, what will she do after she gets the full story from Peter, and will Peter create some fiction to keep her close? It seems like Scott and the others would have explained Peter at some point to her, mostly that he can't be trusted and he's a terrible person. That's the logical thing, but there have been some times when Teen Wolf has played it fast and loose with logic. At Comic-Con, whenever someone asked Jeff Davis, the creator, about Malia learning to do her hair and makeup and becoming a real girl, he waved his hand and said, "TV rules." He was pretty open about saying the writers just hoped that fans would give them a pass on all the backstory. Like, they just didn't want to do 4 episodes where Malia goes through potty training. For the most part, I totally don't mind logic jumps, but I hope they don't just wave their hands too much when it comes to Peter and Malia. She's pissed about Scott and the others not telling her the truth, but that should not make her forget what an awful person Peter is. But now it's your turn. Let me know, what was your biggest WTF from the episode, and what do you think that Malia's going to do? Is she just going to run off to Peter, or she's just going to go off on her own? I feel like the show has teased us way too much with a Peter and Malia moment, so I definitely think we're going to see that. But in the end, I think Malia will betray Peter to help Styles in the pack. Like, whatever ends up happening with the benefactor, Peter has his own side scheme going off to the side, and it's probably going to create a situation whereby Malia's going to have to choose between helping him and helping her friends. It's pretty clear that Malia, in a situation like that, would do the right thing. She's always going to ultimately choose Styles and Scott. Teen Wolf has always been really good about playing with the themes of blood being thicker than water. Like the fact that Derek is Peter's family, but Derek doesn't think of Peter as family. And if Malia doesn't return to the pack before season 5, who is going to spoon Styles? Maybe Derek? Maybe Derek will step up. They actually did that in an episode of Family Guy where Quagmire and Peter start spooning because Lois doesn't want to do it anymore. Overall, I gave the episode a solid B. It had a couple of great left turns with Satomi and Malia. Styles just got way more complicated, which was amazing. Scott is like the Captain America of the group. You know, he's always going to try and do the right thing. Styles, on the other hand, is like the Bucky. He even got brainwashed like Bucky during 3B. Wouldn't it be crazy if Styles and Scott had a falling out over the money? This season is supposed to be all about human issues, and fighting over money is a very human thing to do. I also love the way they paired people off in the episode. Like putting Derek with Braden, Lydia's mom with the students, Malia and Kira. I always tend to favor the light and funny stories like the lacrosse stuff, Malia trying to be human, Scott and Kira relationship humor, or like Lydia and Deputy Parrish. Those are always the best, at least for me. So whenever we get more intense episodes like this one, I always look really hard for the lighter moments. Like the Satomi reveal. It swung from crazy Hong Kong fight movie to hey, what's up, in a few seconds. It's like the whole episode was a slow-moving heart attack, so when we get those lighter moments, I'm always so happy. Since we're halfway through the season, I feel like all of the remaining episodes are going to be a slow-moving heart attack. But let me know if you guys agree. Do you like the fun episodes more, or do you like it more when things get super intense and you feel like your heart's going to burst inside your chest? Obviously, I'm going to cast my vote for the more fun episodes. But congratulations to Karen C. You are the winner of my Comic-Con giveaway. I'll be messaging you on your channel for details. It's basically an Amazon gift card. Real quick personal update. I just quit my job to become a full-time YouTuber, and my last day is in a couple of weeks. I'm also moving at the end of this month too. I gotta move the den. So I'm gonna try and make my video schedule as normal as possible, so Teen Wolf should always post by Tuesday for the rest of the season. Every once in a while, crazy stuff always ends up happening, so you can always follow me on social for updates. There's actually links to that at the bottom of the description. But right now, if you haven't seen it, here's a link to the Teen Wolf Comic-Con panel, and click here for my episode 5 video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. High fives.